managed to get him to speak is undoubtedly shows your own talent.
Well, to be honest, it was Her Majesty who managed to such feat, but I'm not surprised. She's very good at that. Uh, is it true that you are um and she sort of turned a bit red and it's like um single?
Oh, well. It is unfortunate. The throes of love have not quite struck me in the midst of my work. It's been so busy as of late, but well, there is a nice dance going on, and I would definitely enjoy your company if you would oblige.
I'll do my best not to step on your toes, Sir Gregory. Lead on.
All
And
right.
she dances and you dance with her and she's a fantastic dancer, right? But
Right.
you notice every so often because it's very noticeable, and the audience also notices
Mm-hmm.
that the queen is from her side, sort of side chamber. She's looking at you every time, at the two
Right.
of you, right? Uh, you're being sized up, basically.
Right.
Uh,
And given that we're
and
both nobles and have etiquette, then we honestly pass most tests by flying colors. Nothing is going to happen here
no, I mean
unless
she's
someone makes something happen.
no, she doesn't. I mean, at the end of the night, she sort of buys out and sort of
Yes.
she's pleasant. She drank a little bit, but not in excess. So,
Not too much.
yeah,
It has, of
she's
course, been
very
my
well.
pleasure, my Lady Victoria.
The pleasure has been all mine. I hope you can stay a little while longer before you have to head back. I would enjoy your company if you would have me, of course.
Oh, well, I would love to extend our talks with each other, should you have the time. I don't, I don't know of your own duties, but if anything were to interfere, I wouldn't want to step in the way. And of course, I'm just, being polite and using my etiquette and saying, like, yeah, you could totally come on by.
Yeah. So yeah, she does that, and as such, the evening passes. Spencer, um, as the
Yes.
night is passing, a mind observation role for you because you're basically you and Vincent Spencer. I mean, people talk to you, whatever, but you're, to be honest, in the mind of these nobles, you're the help, right? You're just attached there. Um,
Yeah, I'm nobody of grand importance, so I would not expect to be bothered by such important people.
so, an observation. Do you have observation?
Nope.
Oh. Yeah. Do you people just they might they're polite enough, I suppose, but they're not interested. The same thing happens with Presta Vesper. Most people are like, it's a priest. Who cares, right? It's like
Do you have any sins you want to confess, my children?
none of them seem to be. In fact, they seem to be looking for more sins. Some of them, rather than less.
Ah,
Uh,
Debauchery.
banned. None of you are free from sin.
the wine is good though. You taste it a little bit better, more fine wineries, but it's good. The meat is great. The ale. I mean, there's a full table.
You really have to try like seconds of each one of those to really compare.
And so the evening passes. Um, about a day later or so, your group is approached by Lady Victoria again. And she has a few servants and says, Lord Gregory, I have a favor to ask.
Oh,
If
my
it's not too
lady, of
much to
course.
impose. I believe you're to return home to Carrot Holwyn, and I would request passage on your ship, if it whatever possible.
Oh, well, if that is so, there's plenty of space. It would not be the most comfortable journey, I'm afraid, but it will get you there, and we shall assure your safety.
You can do that, hey Harmon. What are you going to tap it on?
Oh, I think he's thinking of buying up some equipment.
Oh, well, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, you can tap it, or you can use it to get 2 pieces of expensive equipment, right?
Yeah.
Wealth.
Mhm.
So I was looking at a bandolier. I know I'm probably saying it wrong.
Bandolier?
No, it's Battle Air. It's one of the
Bandolier?
swords from Symphony of the Night.
An even bigger
Yeah.
weapon to challenge Metal Gear.
Well, I mean, yeah. It's basically just like my longsword now. It just has sweep, close, and tilting.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a more advanced version of the backsword. It you know that curved end they always put on swords that people think looks really cool. That's so when you're riding and you're cutting down the peasant mobs like the unwashed rabble that they are, your sword slides cleanly off the bone and you can follow through.
Now that's a sword I can appreciate.
It's
And I'll
also the
probably grab a
signature weapon.
Francisca.
It's I believe also the signature weapon of the Rinaldi, showing that you that by carrying one you're kind of hitting above your station, Armin.
It's fine. I carry what I need to be effective. Either way, I'm a bandolier and a Francisca. Because I could use a good thrown weapon. Because a thrown weapon would allow me to use my strength.
Okay.
Yeah, that's there's that great scene in Fellowship of the Ring where Gimli just pulls out an axe, just throws to the guy. That's a Francisca.
So yeah, you go shopping
That's
in
what I
that
spend
day.
my day on, I guess.
Yeah. Again, this place is colder during the day. That one day it rains quite a bit. More people stay inside. Raining heavily, even for the Isles, which is not usual. Um, and yeah, the day kind of happens, and she comes aboard. The injuries of the members of your crew that suffered injuries are mostly, have more or less healed. It's interesting that you're not the only ones that are returning. I mean, basically, most of the squadron is returning to Caer Tolwyn, and there's better ships. Especially the White Rabbit would be a more fitting vessel. But asked to ride with you. And you head back. You're heading back.
Of course.
Along the way, she asks you, where did you study? Where do you come from? Do you tell her you went to the university, etc.?
Oh yeah, I'm not like concealing anything. I'm just like, oh yes, I spent some time at the university under this master, and oh yes, I grew up in the city of Caer and family home is there. Oh, you might even get to see it. You are of course invited if you
Well,
need a place to stay. My
I guess
hospitality is open to you.
Caer Tolwyn. You're coming from
Caer Tolwyn. There we go.
Because Corwin is the island that you're coming from.
Yeah.
So just put it there. So Corwin is on the west. Tolwyn,
yeah, this is where we could use like a world map splash page.
Yeah.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, but my graphic availability.
Just draw squiggles.
Think of it as a map similar to the map of World of Warcraft, where there's basically two continents.
Oh yeah. We got the two
add one in the
against
south,
each other.
right? Yeah. So it's a kind of like an open area in the middle, but instead of being continents, they're islands, right? So one is in the north.
But yeah, I'll definitely be open about it. And say it's like, oh yes, and I met Harmon around here where he walloped me multiple times in training sessions and does still to this day. And oh yes, my friend Presper, we met while drinking with a bunch of university students, and we kept drinking ever since. And oh yes, Spencer. Oh well, if I didn't have him around, I'd probably be half as intelligent as I seem to be.
She sort of covers her mouth and she sort of just chuckles. And she starts asking you more and more probing questions about the situation in Caer Tolwyn. How would you describe to her the political and social situation in the capital?
I would probably leave out my specific work, i.e., the stuff that I said I would tell nobody. but maybe I try to hold back a little bit more on the honesty about that too. I would not say like, oh yeah, it's a powder keg ready to explode. I'd be like, well, I think maybe some people might be frustrated. And of course, not mention the assassination or anything. So yeah,
But
I'm sugarcoating things a little bit on that front.
and she sort of starts pressing in that area. She doesn't single you out of what you've done. The questions are more like, oh, what is it about this? I heard trouble. I've heard about some troubles that crime is rampant, and especially
Hmm.
in the docks. That that there might have been some trouble with an ambassador recently. What did you have you heard anything about that, Sir Gregory?
Oh, well, you know very well we came after the pirates here. It seems to just be endemic to the Isles at this point.
Things were not to be this way. Our Lord, our Majesty, uh, King Edgar, he is a very compassionate and lawful man. We rarely have these problems. We've had some problems with bandits and the like, but they quickly get resolved. He's very good at mobilizing and dealing with them. Um,
He is a man of cutting to the point, that's for sure.
yes, and I think that's why the Queen loves him so. It's rare you hear about political marriages and the like. Love really has anything to do with it, but they do care for each other in their own way. I would, I hope this is not too forward, but I would believe that she would kill for him if need be, and he would care for her. They would give their lives for each other, which is rare these days,
Ooh, if the
at
lady
least among.
matches his seriousness as much, nearly quite as much, I don't doubt that sentiment whatsoever.
Well, she's more graceful. She, as she's a lady, should be, of course. He frowns a lot, but you can catch him time to time. You're getting a good chuckle out of from her. Um, she tells some. I shouldn't say this, and I hope you don't repeat this. She can tell the most ribald stories you ever heard, my lord. Uh,
Oh, I must catch that some point. Ah, well, I
but
must
I did
visit the
not say
courts
that.
some more.
But I guess I shouldn't repeat that. It's just that she has a quite a bit of a talent for it, I suppose.
Well, at least you're in the company of sailors over here, so it's not as if they hadn't heard such things before.
True, but to repeat such things from my lady would be disloyal, to say the least. Uh, but I do look forward to visiting uh, Cair Tolwyn. Hasn't been. I never actually left my home island. I was born and raised there. Perhaps a little change of pace would be nice. What do you think? A bigger
Oh, I
city.
think so.
More like,
I could give you the tour of it even if you wish. Oh, there's this fantastic cathedral that you must see. You must have heard of it.
I believe it's still under construction, isn't it?
Well, parts of it look all right. I could take you to the more established ones first.
Oh God. And she keeps engaging in conversation whenever she can,
Mhm.
etc. It basically ignores everyone else, right? Not so much as a slight of like sort of beneath her, but rather it's like
She's focusing on me.
yes, he focused like, and she's polite enough, right, to move around, and she tries not to be much of a bother to the sailors
Mhm.
or get in the way, etc. Um, keeps to herself. Some of her own ladies in waiting or servants, some of them get sick, right?
Yeah,
and, but she retains her
composure.
composure, yes.
There you go.
And as you reach, the harbor, and then move upriver to Cair Tolwyn.
Guess I do have one question though. Since we're spending lots of time talking, I guess my question is, what is Gregory's read on the situation? How much is she genuinely interested versus how much has she been told to keep an eye and spy on me?
Well, yeah, that would be. I think that would be a mine observation, and also nobility. rope nobility and that. You need 2 successes.
Right, that might be a little difficult. Oh, and I rolled 2 1s. Wow, almost botched 3 dice. I'm a miracle, honestly.
Yeah, she's very hard to read. I mean,
Yeah.
she's very reserved, very demure, very polite, right? Whenever the ones you notice, and whenever you sort of say, I don't like to talk about this, she sort of completely understands, keeps, respects your boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
But anytime you give her an opening, she takes it, right? So she is very much the only reason you get is that she's very good at what she is, a lady in waiting, somebody who is a member of a court and
And is looking
navigating,
for the good gossip at the least.
yeah, and navigating courtly, courtly talk and getting the measure of people. Is she spying on you particularly? You don't get that from there. It's like, oh, she's here, she's talking to you. Besides, you're the only person that would be anywhere near her station for her to talk to.
Right.
Ladies in waiting and ladies of the chamber are essentially daughters of nobility, right? They, barons and dukes and the like. So, they're not just, they're not people who just sweep the floors and clean the toilets. So they are ladies in good standing. So no, you don't get much of her other than she's very good at being in social circles. Right?
Okay.
She when you're driving, it's like, and when you're basically getting off the boat, or the ship in your case, she does ask one question that, it's inevitable that you pick up on this. It's like, is it true that nobody has seen the High King in about months?
Gregory will sort of stroke his chin a bit and go, yes, a few, I believe.
So, what the peasants say is true. Well, the land and the king. Well, and as she says so, lightning, dramatically cracks across the sky, and a downpour comes down on you. And she has an umbrella, and she knows, and they cover each other. It's like, well, I guess we must go then. And they load her trunks and whatever into a carriage.
Yeah.
And sort of,
I can imagine the background Spencer just like immediately just has everything just never hit him. And I like actually have to create a water curtain above me.
and everyone else is damp. And you see people sort of, the only thing about this torrential rain that is good, especially in the harbor, is that it clings to all the gutters. Like all the crap just goes downstream very quickly.
Yeah.
The sheer amount of sort of almost like a wall of water, and you see most people like, and being spring, it's still cold, not snow levels of, we're not dipping that low, but it is cold rain, right? Almost freezing rain. And you know that if it continues, this might have yet another lost year of
Right, same as up north as here. Too much flooding, no one gets anything done.
Exactly. So you go back to the barracks. If anybody wants to do anything in particular, now that you're back?
Well, Harmon's done it, so I figure I might as well use my temporary gift of wealth to pick up Amber Skira armor and some recreational drugs for Spencer.
Ah, nice.
Wait, you're actually going to buy drugs?
Yes.
You know they're in the book, right?
Yes.
All right.
For
Obviously,
1/8 of the stone, you can get some noted weed.
Noted weed. Obviously, what I would do with my newfound spoils is I'm going to have to go back to the church and donate it there, because that's alms for the poor. Plus, also, I would feel bad about taking the spoils of war.
Mark your goal as being fulfilled. Okay, you help the people, you put it on,
Excellent! New crutches!
You basically fill the...
New crutches for the orphans and new bandages for the lepers.
Yeah.
And we rebristled the broom so we can sweep at your closet.
And basically, they do have a sort of a mini feast, right, with the money that you so they basically...
Oh, no, please. I couldn't ask for that. I mean, I'm sure I'll attend, but...
Well, they basically, it's for the poor, right? They basically do sort of a feast for them. They cook dinner, because they have a lot of money, so they
Yeah.
bring in, etc. And
This should be for
invite
Saint
you.
Trip to leave, not for me.
Yeah. And people are thanking you, with their grubby, dirty hands,
Please, not myself. I have humility. This is the if one has wealth, one shares it with the world.
A day so passes, the rain passes, but it still remains gray and cool, not actually cold. As you're walking, probably to the barracks for your next assignment, you see a group of guards, a large group of guards, sort of march down the street at a double pace. And it's a large group of guards from the barracks. And you start hearing a commotion and stuff like that nearby, and even shouting. Everybody can do a observation. This not a listen skill; it would be observation, right? And in mine,
The closest thing to a listen skill is having listen as one of your species traits that gives you a bonus of your species die to the observation.
that would keen hearing. Anybody who has keen hearing can also use their.
Yeah, but different species get different bonuses, different senses.
Yes.
Would danger sense apply?
No, because it's not a danger to you particularly.
Well, if danger sense don't apply, then I don't care. It's not part of my job.
Harmon, danger. Let's go into it. So that you can activate your danger sense.
Well, I mean, I have to guard you, right? If it's just an ordinary thing and it's not dangerous, right? The hidden dangers of does danger sense apply question.
Yeah. So 2 successes for me because that species bonus.
Yeah, you start hearing like booing and shouting, and among them you hear to you now a familiar voice.
Oh.
Of a lady. Above the crowd, right? You can hear it's kind of hard, and it's going in the direction that the guards are going. What are you gonna do?
If I hear the sound of the Lady Chamberlain out there, and all the guards are going there, we're going there. So anyone who was going with me is also now going that way.
Yeah.
Very well.
Not of the Lady Chamberlain, of a lady that you recognize.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm heading that direction anyway.
What you find is, and in one of those, squares, right, where several streets converge, it's a crash, not a wagon, but the carriage, an injured man, and you see Lady Victoria and some of her servants in a very large crowd on one side, and the guards are on the other, and the guards are like, "You murderer, you," and throwing insults at her. You think we're beneath you? At simple glance, and now danger sense is really kicking in for Harmon. Apparently, for some reason, what happened apparently seems that they ran over the carriage. Just had an accident and ran over at least one person, and another person is injured. Like there is, now you look and there's a dead body, still the blood still spilling. And another person with what appears to be like a broken leg. And as time goes by, more and more people start gathering, started hurling insults at the lady and her party, and she's sort of frightened there. And the guards are using the halberds to keep the people back, right?
Right. So
but,
I'm still here.
But you know that at any moment, if more people come in, there's only so much the guards can do. And this is a very difficult terrain situation, right? You might try to dodge an alley or something like that if you know the way, but otherwise, if they're fighting, somebody does something, like fighting starts, it's going to be a mess.
Ooh.
And a bloody mess at that, right? Because we talk about a mob here, right?
Right, a mob now up against a set of infantry for the barracks.
Yeah. It's going to be a slaughter, and it might not be necessarily the mob that gets slaughtered.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you guys gonna do?
So I'll look to Presper and go, I believe you have something you can do. That man is definitely not okay over there. The other one doesn't look like he's salvageable, though. Do
Well, I
your
can't.
magic.
All life is sacred, so I can't let somebody die.
Absolutely. So I trust you with that. Armin, you're staying by my side, but I will attempt to take control of the situation because I am big and loud and self-important and a noble and have authority.
Well, I forget, Spencer. Did you get the crowd dispersing spell, or did you get something different?
I got I did not get panicked. I think it was locating.
Okay.
Oh, I
Yeah,
bet you get the one that
panic.
causes everyone to riot.
Though there's even a spell called riot.
Anyways, should we not get you somewhere, a safer location, from which you could address the crowd?
Well, the situation is going down. I do need some place that they can all see and hear me, however.
There's an
Right.
upturned
No,
carriage.
the position.
What'd you say, Lesson?
There's an upturned carriage.
Okay, I'll clamber on top of the upturned carriage.
And I will be up there with him. So otherwise, I won't be able to replace him should somebody try to snipe him.
Okay.
This is gonna be something that's gonna 3 successes. You can retry, and as long as you don't get a botch, you can try out to gather the 3 successes. Right. The first success will have people listening to you, but not change the mood. The second one, you got their attention. The third one, they're actually listening. Any more than 3 successes, and then you can start turning the crowd to your advantage.
Got
The
it.
way it works, if you got it all once, that'll be great. But you get up to 3 tries, right? So you can build up your successes. Actually, you need 4 or more to really sort of disperse the crowd and have sort of complete control situation. If you're going to convince them. If you're trying to do something else, like scare them away or something like that, that could work, but it could. I advise you. It can also.
So I'll have
it can
multiple
also
attempts to
backfire.
try to build it up, but let's see if I can do it on the first shot.
Yeah.
So, what shall I roll? Will and presence obviously seems to be the go-to on this. That already gives me 3d8. I am a noble, and I have authority in the situation as magistrate.
I would warn you, noble. Remember that they're shouting at a noble lady, and you can hear that what they're saying is essentially that they're angry that they perceive this person to have abused their authority. So maybe you can still use noble, but maybe not be as useful as you think.
Right. Well, ultimately, I suppose just having the authority as magistrate is ultimately what I'm tapping into anyway. They both serve the same purpose, so I'll agitate the crowd less and still assert my authority by coming in anyway. So we're looking at 3d8 plus 1d12, and I have Harmon behind me. Harmon, do you have 1 presence die?
No.
Right. You're not
It's better
assisting
for your
me
bodyguard to be an honest. It's better for your bodyguard to be an unassuming presence rather than an attractive presence.
Right. So you're just going to be the bodyguard here. I'm ultimately wrangling myself. So I have 3d8 and a d12 then. I don't think anything else counts here. Oh, I am a local.
We can speak to them at their level. You know that we kind of have a way of their language, right?
We know these accidents happen every week. So I'll speak to them as an authority and as one of their own, and shout over them to take control of the situation from top the carriage.
Like you, when I was young, I dreamed of becoming a baseball.
And that is 3 off the first roll.
Okay, so they're coming down, they're listening to you, but they haven't dispersed yet. Now, Vesper, you were going to attend to this man's wounds.
Make way, make way. All life is sacred. My good man, do you accept the shining light of some air into your heart? How does he respond to
that? Yes, help me, please.
Excellent.
Ooh. Yeah, you notice that it's a broken bone and it's sticking out. So you're basically doing the sort of putting your hands in there and pouring your faith into it. But this is serious. This man is in a bad way. Uh,
Oh, you're not
you
coming
know.
in,
So,
Ref, if you're saying stuff.
sorry about that. Can you hear me now? Sorry.
Sorry, I can't fix the injured or the sick because that spell is spent right now. So I can
Yeah.
only stop the dying.
Yeah,
Per day, didn't you?
I, yeah.
It's even worse than per day. I have to do
Oh.
8. I have to attend 8 different masses at 8 different times of day.
Oh god. Well, best of luck.
He's not dead. He's not dying, but he is pretty bad. I mean,
He's probably injured, and even worse than injured in the game is sick. So he's messed up.
yeah, he's messed up. I mean, it's blood everywhere. I mean, he got run over by. He was lucky to be survived to be run over by horses and a carriage. Right, he basically got bumped to the side and hit a wall, and so he's bleeding, and one of his legs is shattered. Right, but people notice that you're doing that, trying to help him, and whatever it is, and so like they give you space.
Please, for I have my assistant of the Way of the Light here, Among
Gregory,
Us assisting.
that gives you an extra D6 bonus.
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, I can still only stop the dying. So
Hey, we're up to 4.
It's more what you're doing rather than the actual healing itself, right? They're seeing that you actually are there to help.
Mhm.
Also, you're a man of the cloth, and that also carries authority as well. So
You wouldn't
Gregory.
attack a priest with glasses, would you?
yeah. Now people are sort of calming down, and some people say, "Oh, it's not worth it. Let's go home." Right. But the thing is that the guards are still sort of pointing them with the halberd. It's like, we move closer, right? So it's still very tense. What are you going to say to them to really sort of convince them once again to sort of go home, right? Just you have one more shot at sort of really sort of laying it and saying, "Hey, enough, go home."
What are the words I should use here? I'm just sort of at a loss. I need a suggestion. What's the way to wrap this
why is
up?
the crowd angry like this?
Because a noble killed someone in an accident.
Yeah, it seems like an
Right,
accident.
because of the run over. Man,
Yeah.
are we doing Tale of Two Cities now? Is this Evermont? I'm gonna kick Evermont's ass. I mean, you could just make a plea for justice later.
Uh, yeah, I guess that's what I'm going for. I am putting forth that I am the word of justice, and I am here to see everything handled, and you can trust me beyond a shadow of a doubt that everything will turn out as it should.
Okay. Well,
I'm making a plea that they should have faith in me.
okay.
And that is
Yeah, but
4 off of that.
yeah, you have more than enough. The the uh, the crowds are dispersing. Some people try to stay, but they get dragged off. Right.
Mhm.
You see that when the crowd gathers, stuff like that, like some of the stalls stuff like that got damaged. People were picking up like fruit and stuff like that to start throwing, or even pieces of brick and other heavy materials. When you get down from the carriage, the Lady Victoria simply goes over you and just buries her face in your neck. Right? It's like, oh, thank you, Sir Gregory. That was very close. If you hadn't appeared, I don't know what would have happened.
My lady, are you alright? Oh, this crash, it's terrible.
I'm fine. It seems that the interior was more better cushioned than I could hope.
Yeah.
And she says it has like one of her eyelids is sort of a bit swollen, right? So maybe she's smacked.
Yeah,
herself,
she
but
didn't come
she's,
out completely undamaged.
yeah. And the other servants says one of them seems to be bleeding from the nose and stuff like that. So it was a difficult situation.
Mhm.
She explains to you what happened essentially that they were going. She was going to meet another lady, right? So she's in Unicity and sort of doing her introductions to the nobility. They were gonna meet in her parlor. early in the morning, and next thing you know, the whole thing had upturned, and you know, and she was bewildered, and when she climbed out of the carriage, this crowd had gotten in there, and were basically ready to lynch them, basically. Just I know, poor choice of words, but um, assault her, right? And who knows what would happen if they got their filthy hands on her and claws and whatnot. Um, but she says that, and one of the guards turns to you, is like, Magister, we'll
Yes.
take care of this. We'll make sure that the horses are the horses, not the chargers are fine, and the carriage is put back into place. As far as we can tell, it's just was an accident. Wrong person, in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I
Usually
see.
people don't usually get riled up like this, but it's always an exception that proves the rule, I suppose, my lord.
Oh dear. I hope I didn't miss any news in the past few weeks while I was away. Anything
It looks like
that's made them angry recently?
he's a bear. He's an ursine. It's like
Shrug.
raining a lot. It's raining a lot, sir. That's basically it. You would
It
think
is
that would
getting a little bit
dampen their.
frustrating. I agree with that.
I suppose that would dampen people's spirits, but I guess not. Not much I
Well
can tell
then,
you.
Lieutenant, Captain, what does your badge say here? And I just like
He's
lean
a
in.
sergeant.
Sergeant. I trust you then to your work. I know that you can handle the rest of the situation from here. The crowd is dispersed.
Well done, sir.
And
We'll
I
take it from
will
you.
I will handle the lady for now.
Basically, you can escort her to wherever she's gonna meet. But
Yeah. And meanwhile, I'm also trying to comfort her and go, it's like, yeah, it's just rest. I believe some ice on it should reduce it, and oh, it's just so traumatic. You should take to just rest.
I
Wherever
like you
you're going,
describe
you should
that.
engage with their hospitality for some time.
Yeah, get some ice on it here in the Middle Ages.
Yes. We have water wizards. They can just make as much ice as they want. We've broken thermodynamics.
oh, you're one of them.
I'm one of them. I can do it. Oh, here, let me put some on. It's only my second worst skill. Right after comforting people.
She says, basically, Lady Shadowley should be waiting for us. I don't. At least I like to excuse myself before I go home again.
Of course.
And
I
you,
shall
you
check in
take
on you again just to make sure that you are well.
you take her to their destination, and she bows, and she gives you a quick peck on the cheek.
Yes,
As
and
a thank you.
and of course I fluster and all of that. It's like, oh yes.
And she goes in. And I guess you go to report to the Lady Chamberlain and what just happened, Your
That
Majesty.
is right.
She takes your report. All right. You tell her. I was going to use a term. I was going to use a word that.
Yeah.
Anyway, and she's like, "Thank you, Sir Gregory. It seems that you're always there in the nick of time, which is a good thing, considering everything.
As long as my fortune lasts.
I hope it does." And she kind of dismisses everybody else with these. It's like, we haven't had time to talk. What was your impression of the situation in this recent operation?
Oh, I suppose as I've recounted before, this isn't the last of them. There are definitely more pirates about, and I worry of what they might be up to. It seems they infest all the isles now. Or at least, that's how it feels. But there are undoubtedly more than were simply at that location.
It was a matter of the sales of the iron ore, this business with the explosives, and of course, may the gods protect us. It seems everything seems to be snowballing into a big problem, and now for some reason the crowds are angry. I mean, they might be facing a long, lean year, hungry one at that. I don't blame them.
This is true. And I can't talk my way out of that one. If everyone's starving, they're simply going to be, well, angry about it.
Yes.
I can only hope the stores of the castle can feed everyone for some amount of time.
I'll ask you a question. Did you? What was your assessment of the admiral, Admiral Haddock?
The Admiral? I believe he has a great head on his shoulder. He saw us to
That
victory surely and clearly.
I sometimes find that he has way too much space between his ears myself, but apparently he is good at his job. We've had indications that his prisoner, the one that you captured, I've
Yes.
had him transferred to our cells. He says some very interesting things. I want you to take Spencer and talk to him. Verify what he's saying.
I see. So I shall then.
Yes.
Well, I
But that
trusted when.
the fact that they didn't hang him immediately,
Yeah,
you know,
it,
that
it,
rings
it of
up
course
a
has
lot of
Gregory scratching his chin and going, "It must be quite something interesting he's saying to send me to do it." But we shall see the job done.
So you, Harmon, Spencer, and Gregory go down to the dungeons.
Yeah,
Uh,
Professor, you're not interested in interrogation and torture, are you?
That's what the church is
Uh,
based at.
I wouldn't use the word interested, but I will come with you to see what sort of deplorable conditions there are.
Very well then. Into the dungeon.
we find him in a relatively large cell. He's basically, sitting in a corner with a stool and a bucket and his clothes, and that's about it. And maybe some straw so he can sleep on the ground.
Ah,
Not the most.
Captain.
No, no.
I see they've been generous enough to give you the bucket.
uh, so they brought you in to question me again.
Ah, so it is.
He gets up. It's like, very well. He keeps his distance, right? Because there are guards here as well, so he doesn't want to make any moves that might get him killed. Uh, I will tell you what I told my questioners before. It's too easy. That victory of yours was too easy.
It was hard fought and well won, but please go on. What makes it so
How,
easy for you?
how come you found us? Being careful now. Somebody tattled on us. Somebody set us up. I think. Somebody set us up for a fall. And I think it's one of your people. You want to know the truth about what we're trying to do here? We're no pirates.
Go on. Well then, what do you consider yourself then, Captain?
A mercenary.
Hmm. From where and for who then?
Well, I was born here in the Isles, but I spent some time in Triskelion. That's where they hired me.
Ah, but who is they?
Nobles from different houses. They said they had interest in the Isles. They assured me that they would have my back, quit me, get me my men. And then all of a sudden they captured, found out. My men are careful, they know what they're doing. We kept our security. I'm afraid you have somebody in your side who set us up. That airhead of an admiral. He's not as good as he sounds. boastful prick.
Interesting. Why do you assume the Admiral, then? If it was these noble houses that brought you back home, to engage in such piracy.
Because we
What?
were assured that the Royal Squadron would not interfere with us. You would not send a group of people and waste them like that.
This is true. This is true. But I suppose again, why the Admiral? Why do you assume such?
It's
And
a
of course, I'm
command of
also looking towards Spencer right now, who should probably be like also reading his mind, or at least his
Oh
impression of
yeah,
him.
and I don't get any kind of dice because he's being distracted by further questioning. So here we go. And just get to the right attack on my macro bar.
Mhm.
Here we go.
I imagine you probably did this earlier too, just so that you could also get those noble names too.
All right,
Ah,
I'm gonna try to get at least surface thoughts with my personality.
Well, that's a good one. See if he can resist.
Mind, deceit, and presence. So he has at least 2 dice if he's a good pirate.
But no, he can't beat your 12. Oh,
Well, he did beat. Oh wait, yeah, it is versus 12. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not versus 3. I was about to complain.
yeah. Yeah. His thoughts are about a meeting that he has with a group of people you don't recognize, right? Sort of in his mind's eye. And one of the things that they keep repeating to him is that they have made sure that the Royal Squadron, which is sort of the Navy of the Isles, would not interfere, right? And even went so far as to say that they had a person in it, right, that would guarantee that they would not want to. How does that jump to being the admiral? Well, you didn't get, you know, enough into the way he's thinking
mhm.
to
Right.
get that.
But perhaps
But
he'll verbally elaborate.
yeah, I mean, he said that he has done work for these people before. In fact, this is not even his first trip to the Isles. Right, this is something they've been working on for months, and all of a sudden, you know, ground troops. It just seemed too perfect, right? It's one thing to have been, a patrol might have stumbled across their cove, or they have met a ship in, a combat in the high seas, and one ship might fight another one. But the fact that this was, in his mind, they were extremely well prepared, and they never seen the Royal Squadron or the ground forces of the Isles be that efficient before, leads him to believe that he was betrayed by someone here, and that essentially he's basically trying to convince you, listen, you got a spy on your thing, and I can try to help you, ferret it out, exchange for my life. Well, he's trying to give you as much information he can. Of course, there's only so much that he knows, right? Uh,
Right, right.
and you, with your tactical knowledge, know that, yeah, it was a good plan, but it takes time to create that plan. And one of the things about catching criminals is that they might be dumb in the fact that they steal stuff, but they're very cagey. Any indication that they have been found out would have sent them in flight,
Hmm.
right? Is a very lucky break that you were managed to sort of trap them the way you did.
Right. So his accusation so far that there is some sort of spy or insider involved is absolutely correct. Because otherwise, how would they know before something happens? And of course, he's mentioned that, hey, there's a bunch of noble houses probably involved in this. I imagine not like all Calabrian houses or something. That's why it's
Yeah.
relevant, right? Uh, so one of those houses knew, funded this whole expedition, and then spoiled it.
Or somebody on this side decided to spoil them for them
Hmm.
for their own benefit.
Right. Hmm. Uh, let's see. Does he have
So
anything else to add? I'm trying to like get back in the conversation now.
he says, "Sir, I will do hard work. You can notch my ear. You can split my back with a whip. I'll be breaking stones to the day I die. But if you spare me the Hanksman news, I will do whatever I can to repay you. That's my promise."
And on that, I look over to Spencer.
Well, I can't read his mind anymore, so I'm going to try an
Well, I mean, you
inquiry
were
roll.
still getting his surface thoughts until the end of the scene, right?
Oh yeah, so
And he just made this promise. So the
I mean,
question, of
he
course, is
seems
obviously
the
how
mind that
sincere.
you were feeling. The mind is for somebody who is orderly, who is a soldier, right? Who is a mercenary. It doesn't, this is not the mind of a criminal, right? Who is sort of, somebody who's serious, somebody who is a professional, right? Uh, and expects, to be treated as such.
a professional courtesy, yes.
Yeah. Uh, he's
Yeah,
not a
so
noble,
Spencer will
but
just tell
there's
that to
rules of war, right? Such as they are.
he'll tell that to Gregory on the sly. Like I
Okay.
think he's curious about this.
Like you just give me like one of the pre-generated symbols of like, yeah, that checks out. And Gregory will sort of nod and go, very well. I'll take this information in consideration, and should it change anyone's mind, I will return to you with the offer.
Thank you, my lord. If not, I would ask one more thing to make my end as quick as possible.
That, should it come to it, I will arrange.
Thank you.
Regardless of what others may think, you've still been helpful, and I shall grant that if I can.
Thank you, my lord.
Okay.
He leaves, and the guards close behind you, and you go back to the lady gentleman, and basically as you come in and close the door, it says, "And
I think there's definitely some truth to what he's saying. Is most
Mention nods.
interesting. And on his
Uh,
offer, of course, to provide his assistance. He is genuine. He's a soldier, not a criminal necessarily by trade. I don't think he's making such a proposal simply to save his own skin. He does know something. I believe if we take him up on the suggestion, we may spare him his life and instead put him to hard labor later, accept his assistance for now, and perhaps investigate how far this goes. Who would do such a thing, and why?
I have my list of suspects, which I will give you shortly.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I ask you is because you have a knack for dealing with conspiracies. To be honest, I don't trust a lot of people these days. Sadly, even my own magistrates.
That you put so much faith in me honestly has me blushing, Lord Chamberlain.
Well, you've proven yourself, and I will put my faith on you until you don't. If no, don't prove yourself. Is that understood?
As always.
Of course, my
Very
lord.
well. Well, I will forward you a few contacts soon enough. I will have to make this prisoner secure and available. I'm afraid even our dungeons might not be secure enough. Not if we have people on the inside. I don't know
Very true.
I don't know the extent of this conspiracy, even if it's true. Now, he did mention before when we asked him, he pointed a finger at the admiral. What do you think about that?
It is a very interesting theory. Now, I imagine this isn't simply the first time this admiral's been out. He's proven himself in other scenarios, I would imagine. He's not of noble birth, they didn't just simply put him there. He has some talent for sure. Uh, But it does ring true that someone must have known, and he was the first to act. It seems
The
strange. He has a
Haddock
connection.
Haddock is a very interesting creature. He is one of those friends of the youngest king of. He seems to collect commoners in his way up. Uh, King Edward of Telway. Edward, or as he was known when he was younger, Eddie, always liked to slum around, as it were, share with the common folk as much as he was allowed. He is reform minded, which is not a bad thing necessarily. But a lot of people here see reform as being essentially selling out to the Calambrians, especially his older brother, Edgar, which I hope if I know that you already met, correct?
Uh, Wait, I'm trying to think. Did I
Edgar,
actually?
Edgar is the king that you met, that took
Oh,
you
I
goodbye.
thought the one we met was Edward. Okay.
Edward is the one that she's talking about that is friends with the admiral.
All right. So King Edgard is the one we met. Da-da.
And King Edward is there are three: Edgar, Godwin, and Edward.
Mhm.
Edward is the youngest, and as she explains, basically he is very much a more liberal type of king, reformist, and he has a penchant for collecting what he likes to call men of worth, not of stature, not of blood, but of worth. And Haddock seems to be one of his pet projects. A sailor, a man who knows his way around the ship, bold, energetic, and increasingly lucky. Now, I wouldn't.
Increasingly.
This is not the first time he has had a great coup delivered to him. The reason why this is a problem, of course, that he is now the commander of the Majesty Royal Squadron, and basically commands the naval forces. And with it, commands essentially access to and from the Isles, especially the Emerald Sea, which is in the map. Basically, it's the sea that connects the four. The four isles are around the Emerald Sea.
Right.
Uh, if worse comes to worse, that is a powerful position to have. So you have twofold things. You have to investigate these claims and to make sure that you clear or condemn the admiral. This will take some time. I don't expect immediate results. But whoever's behind it, we need to, and you're pardon the expression, nail them to the wall before it's too late.
Of course. We don't necessarily want another plot on our hands.
I will need some large nails.
Indeed, a lot of them. So, discuss this with no one but your group and myself. Does it matter if somebody from the Privy Council asks you? I would even dare say that even if the High King himself were to ask you, you would be. I would ask you to be evasive.
Of course.
We
Sounds
don't want. We don't want to burden him. I doubt very much you'll have any contact with him. Even I have very little contact with him these days. But we won't want to burden him anymore. Last thing we need is a succession crisis, but it seems one is coming. And it seems the Calambrians are happy to stoke the fires. So, that's all I have to say for now. If you have any ideas or any updates, please let me know as soon as you are able. For now, you're dismissed.
As always, Slade Chamberlain. And we'll go ahead and take our leave.
And I think we're going to leave it here now because I know that Theta has other arrangements and something like that. So we leave. The camera pans out as the group comes out of the out of the barracks, and the camera sort of pulls back, overflying Cair Tallwind, overflying the island of the same name, and then eventually pulling back, and we see the map of the 4 major isles, and there are many other smaller isles in the islands in what's called the Isles. And after that, we see end of chapter 1. People were asking if there was the end of a chapter. So we're at the end of this particular adventure. Hopefully, Dax will be with us next week if Heathen is able, and we will continue with more adventures. But for now, we have to do
Mottos,
goals, and the end of chapter experience. Let's start with that. Mottos. Anybody fulfill their mottos? I need
The
press
best
break.
secrets are those that nobody knows you to keep. And I don't think we told these guys who I was mind reading that I was reading their minds. So
That's a good one, yeah.
just be the weird man in the corner. That's all we need you to be.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and I, kept my faith alight, but also, dwelling on practical matters. So.
And you also managed to feed the poor with the purse.
Yes, I did accomplish a goal, which was my personal goal. So at some point, the game host can give me a gift for that.
Gregory?
I'm fit to be the king. Hey, I met with the king today.
Going up in the world.
And had a great time. And I also dealt with the commoners without murdering them all. Truly, I am the most merciful noble that has ever existed.
So I think that's a point for you. And Theta?
You need to know that you're in for the fight of your life.
Oh, yeah. I think we definitely put those pirates. They learned the lesson of, that they mess with the wrong people. So you can grab a point about that. So, yeah. There's also the point for participation and also the analysis at the end of the game, the evaluation of how it went.
I need a goal. Give me a goal.
Clear or condemn the admiral.
Is that a goal?
That
That's
seems
a goal.
to be it.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if that was an actual goal. Is this something you were making up?
No, it's actually a goal. That's the mission, basically, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, sometimes I miss these things when you say them.
That's okay.
I take it back.
Gotta say, the start of the scenario where it's, well, you're now in front of a firing line is like, oh, we're all about to die then. That could have ended very poorly.
True. But I did it because I wanted to change things. It's like I want to break up you have a mission and you go investigate and you spend 3 sessions investigating, and I wanted to set it up.
You began in media res with some good action, and I think you pulled that off very well. So I think that went great. The fact we managed to not all have to tap our combat saves in progress, and it was nice and short and sweet, is extra bonus for sure.
Anyone else?
I had a good time. I want to thank Rafferty for being on the spot with Vesper and healing Spencer when he was all fuckered up.
Gosh, 8 passes.
It's what I do. I'm support.
Yeah, I'm so support. I took 2 support magics.
Support the support.
So if we did get 3 XP today, we'll let you know that I'm going to be picking up another mark in searching, so I'm actually going to be adequate at locating.
Ooh, very good.
Right.
You definitely need more dice on your spells, that's for sure. I want to see you succeed more.
Well, let me see here.
Actually, that's a good point. I have 5 experience. I'm going to spend 4 and upgrade one of my ranged combat to a D10.
Yeah, I would need a different career or to go past the D12 marks in gossip and inquiry to get more dice in it. Negotiation, I have a career die in it, so I can get marks. But I wanted to get searching because locating is going to be a very useful spell in the future.
Oh yes. Um. Oh, right. Of other things. So the boat fight actually. I mentioned in the midst of it, like, oh, I only have a D6 transport, and I need to taper everything down for that. That applies to every skill and every person. Uh, I'm not sure how much transport the rest of us have, but I imagine we just were going through that scene quickly. But if we fight like
Mhm.
the admiral on his ship, that'll probably end up being very important of a detail.
I think the next gift I'm picking up is going to be sailing, just so I can drop off that limit die and get a D12 in it.
Hmm. Well, I need to be ready
Conversely,
for carriage
let's
rides and
just
horses too. So
conversely let's just fight him on land. How about?
lure the boat onto the shore.
Well, no, we just board his ship, beach it, and fight him on land.
That's what he said.
He'll patiently wait for us to do this.
Yes.
Or I don't know, create earth under his boat for like an hour until technically part of the ground is touching his boat. Create a
Yes.
Also, another reason,
sandbar and then run
another
into
reason
it.
why we did the ship thing is like, oh, you got a ship in like the end of the first
Oh yeah,
mission.
we
You
got to
never
show
get
it
to use the
off.
ship ever. Yeah, you never get to use it ever again. It's like, oh yeah, that ship that you got is like, oh sure, whatever. You know, it's like, doesn't matter, right?
Hmm.
Uh, you know, it's a thing that you have. And it's in your list of things in your character. That's nice. I have a ship. Yeah, it's like that deck of many things that nobody uses because they're not dumb.
Well, hey, I mean, we're in exactly the scenario where being a person who owns his own ship is incredibly fortuitous.
Vesper.
Oh, sorry, I lost my button there. I don't really have much to add to that.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I think this may have been a short session, but I think it was pretty good. I'd rather get some stuff done and deal with the points than run too long.
All
I think
right.
we covered it. We covered everything. So we have the shout outs. Let's start with Gregory / Griffin.
Hey, I'm Griffin. I also run Ironclaw, which will be on next. We're gonna have fun, exciting adventures of investigating local gangs and cults and terrible mysteries. And maybe something will catch on fire. We don't know. Just come on by and find out.
Spencer.
Yes, I play Spencer McDougall. I run a Ironclaw game going through the Book of Adventures on Roleplay Online.
Vesper. Vesper.
I'm Norman Rafferty, and I work for Sanguine Games. If you're watching this in 31 May, we are still have made the Myriad Bundle, the Myriad Song collection of role-playing games and graphic novels, available as a free download on drivethrurpg.com. So that's Myriad. It's a science fiction game. Plus, also, you can get Ironclaw stuff there, too.
Harmon.
Theta.
Theta.
I'm assuming the silence is me not hearing lessons again.
Ah, whoops.
Oops.
Yeah, I'm Theta. I also go by Ractus. I am co-admin on this server with Griff. If you're watching this anytime, I don't know, it doesn't matter when you're watching this. Current schedule is apparently Sundays on YouTube. You can watch Urban Jungle. On Mondays, you can watch Zweihander. Tuesdays, you can watch Alien. Wednesdays, you can watch Hackmaster. Thursdays are Ironclaw. Fridays and Saturdays are Lancer, Mutants and Mastermind. Probably Warhammer as well. Catch it now.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
And myself, I am the GM of running Ironclaw in the Isles, the King's Chosen. And I have two announcements. First of all, I'm also a daytime streamer, variety streamer over at Lessons Learned 1. The 1 is very important, the number 1. And I'm also a published author of Knights and Stars, a speculative fiction anthology. You can find it at Amazon. If you have a Kindle user, just 99 cents. grab a copy today, and that'll be one of many more things that I'm working on that will be both at Amazon and other ebook distributors. So thank you everybody for coming, and as always, we'll see you. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye bye.